welcome to episode 16 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, coming to you this time from YouTube. It's hard to keep up whether it's YouTube or Facebook, but this time I'm pretty sure I am coming to you from YouTube, or I should be coming to you from YouTube Live. I think, as per usual, we should start by smelling a perfume. And after we've done the first perfume, I'll explain how it is and why it is that we're doing this episode so quickly after the first one. But I was kind of looking at this display here, and in the end, I decided that maybe hello from Dubai, hello back to you, Raza Cologne. Actually, you've just reminded me, before I smell a perfume, I just need to make sure that I've got all the information I need here on my trusty tablet, because I need to be able to do the thing that I did last time where I could see people's comments, which I can't see at the moment. No, here we go, but I'm pretty sure. Right, thank you very much. I think we're ready to go. So, I was wondering which of these to start with, and then I thought maybe I ought to go for the one that my eyes just keep skimming over every now and then. It's like I was looking at them going, thinking, oh, maybe I should do, maybe I should do the Guerlain, maybe I should do the Narciso Rodriguez. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm actually going to do this one. I hope you can see this clearly, by the way. Sonic 69 Sonic, that's a cool handle, says, nice first time catching you live. Thank you very much. Nice to be caught. Dead or alive. Please let me know if you can't see this clearly, because the way that YouTube first time for Razi, well, you can't both catch me unless you are both actually the same person. The YouTube live interface, I have to say, is somewhat annoying compared to the Facebook one, because I can set up the Facebook one more carefully and see in my little monitor exactly what it is that you're going to be seeing. The YouTube one doesn't let you do that quite so well. So I hope you're seeing this right. I hope, like half my head isn't chopped off or something. Mind you, if half my head were chopped off, that might not be a bad thing. Anyway, I thought we ought to start with the kind of thing that maybe I don't talk about enough. You can see the eternity. I guess you mean you can see the eternity letters. That's good then. And hello from Berlin as well. Yeah. And Vitali, thank you very much for tuning in again, Vitali. Great to have you here. I thought we'd do this one because this is the kind of release that maybe I don't talk about enough. This is one half of the new Eternity duo. So this is Eternity Air from Calvin Klein. This is the one for men. There is also one for women. I have, literally lost count of the number of Eternity flankers that exist out there. There are more comprehensive databases out there than my memory could provide you with. Go to base notes and look up how many versions of Eternity there are. Anyway, this is the latest one. If it's going to be anything like the other ones, it probably won't be around for very long. So if you like it, you need to get out there and stock up on a few bottles. But why did I want to start with this one? Very attractive blue. Marketing people still think that blue is the colour for men. I thought, let me go for this one, because when the original Eternity came out, I must have worn it to death. It was one of my favourite perfumes as a teenager, one of my favourite fragrances as a teenager. I was a kind of teenager who had lots of scents as well. That was partly because of my mum and the job that she did, but never mind, we'll save that story for another day. But growing up in the Middle East, you could not get away from Eternity. You absolutely could not get away from Eternity for women. And why would you want to? I remember at the time thinking it was a beautiful composition, really, really fantastic. Sophia Groisman, white floral. I still think pretty good, really distinctive. Every now and then in work, actually, funnily enough, I will come across people wearing it, and they love it when you turn around and say, oh, you're wearing Eternity. And I say, oh my God, how did you know? And you think, well, actually, it's not been copied very much, and it's still very distinctive. I have a tiny little sample here, a mini, of the original Eternity, but this isn't vintage juice. This was bought maybe sort of 7 or 8 years ago. Although, again, I think it's pretty recognizable. So I thought, let's do this. Oda Berlin says, Eternity again, this time a blue bottle. Yeah, you see, I'm sensing the kind of frustration and annoyance there in in that message, because I think we kind of feel like that about Calvin Klein fragrances, don't we? We think, oh God, here we go, another eternity flanker. But I remember a time when the arrival of a new Calvin Klein scent was exciting. I mean, Eternity was great. Obsession was wonderful. Obsession for women and Obsession for men I wore as well. I kind of started losing interest from round about the time of Escape. I really could not get on with Escape. I almost had like a kind of visceral gut reaction to Escape. It did make me want to be very, very sick. And I think that was something about the weird combination between the fruity and marine notes. Raza says we don't have much choice here. You know, it's 40 to 50 degrees for most of the year. What would you recommend for this humid climate? What do you mean you don't have much choice? In Dubai, you've got more perfume choice than probably anywhere in the world. Is that what you mean, that you don't have much choice? You can't kid me. I grew up there and I was there just a few weeks ago. What do you mean by not much choice? Can we we'll deal with perfumes for hot weather anyway. Oh, look, whenever I start a broadcast, there's the sirens. Did you hear that? They're always coming to get me. So yada, yada, yada. It's 6 minutes already and I haven't even sprayed this perfume. Let us try the new Eternity Air for Men from Calvin Klein, and then I will do my hellos and we can get this ball rolling. Raza says, no, I mean we have to wear fresh scents more than heavy hitters. Why? Says who? No, you don't. I mean, you may choose to, but you absolutely don't. That was one of the things I love about going back to Dubai, because you're like walloped by this wall of perfume almost as soon as you, reach the airport. So I would say no, go heavier instead of going lighter. Okay, Eternity Air. I hope it's at least not going to be terrible. You kind of want it to be passable. Oh look, I need to move this here. This is a bit too close. Okay, what's this like? Well, oh, sorry, Angeline. Hi from Singapore again. Hello, Angeline. 2 midnights in a row. I'm so grateful. And I've lost your comment. Please do the Meteorites. Yeah, I really want to. I really want to do this one today. Hope you can see it clearly, because on my screen, it's just chopped off the bottom. But I think you should be able to see more of it. Mind you, if you can't, I can't do anything about the visual now without causing like a mini earthquake. See what happens is the minute I breathe, the whole thing sort of shakes, like the flowers are still shaking there. That was me, not you. If you're in Japan, that wasn't an earthquake. Bad joke, sorry. Oh yes, says, what a fantastic surprise to see you live again so soon. Greetings from the summer rain in Germany. Ah. Well, there you go. I thought I'd surprise you with 2 in a row. You have the Meteorite, says Peggy, and then she goes, whoopee. Yes, I do. Eternity Air. Right, what I was going to say about it is that, and this is a major compliment, for a scent like this, it didn't make me do that instant, oh my God, this is the sort of insulting, woody, ambery, fake citrusy thing that is being aimed at men so much at the moment. So it didn't immediately make me think, here we go, here's another Blur or Sauvage or Hello Invictus, but maybe we'll get to Invictus in a while. So it doesn't make me do that. But it has to be said, there is a roughness to it, there is a crudeness to it. And actually already after a kind of maybe watermelony, citrus lemony opening, it's kind of heading into more predictable woody territory. I don't know what it was about the original Eternity for Men, but I always thought of it as a glass-like fragrance, and I used to think the same of Drakkar Noir. There's something about it that made me think of the sort of cleanliness of a really, really high quality pane of glass that passes light through it perfectly, that is somehow both cold, because there is something cold about glass, I guess, cold, but also really, really beautiful in its clarity. And I always used to think of Eternity for Men, the original, in that way. And I think that maybe looking back, that's because what I'm now maybe able to articulate is that Carlos Benaim, who made it, amazing perfumer, he somehow found this beautiful harmony between the sort of aromatic lavendery fougere type notes and the 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 synthetic woody citruses that were very popular at the time, like the material dihydromercenol, which makes Dracar Noir be what it is. And then the balance in Eternity for Men was great, and it seemed to have real substance to it. It seemed to have real depth. With each subsequent Eternity flanker, I think we're kind of getting away from that gorgeous sense of substance, and it's just bandwagon stuff. So by no means is it terrible. I mean, you know, I don't know about calling it air, unless it's the air in a fairly polluted city. I don't know. But it just doesn't have that. It just doesn't have that lightness, that clarity. I think clarity, and clarity was such a fantastic olfactory direction in which to take this idea of eternity, because you wanted something that just felt like it was an endless expanse of forever stretching out in front of you. This doesn't do that. I don't have press information on it, right? And I've pressed buttons on my tablet now, which mean that I'm not going to be able to get the feed now. But what have I got on it? I thought I did have something, but maybe I've lost it now. Maybe I'm just... Right, sorry. So all I've got is that Eternity Air for Men by Calvin Klein is an aromatic fougere. Fine. It's the kind of fougere that makes you realise why a lot of people say they don't like fougères, and then you sort of say to them, okay, but have you smelt Géranium pour Monsieur from Frédéric Malle? That's a good fougère. Have you smelt Jiki from Guerlain? That's a good fougère. Top notes: mandarin orange, juniper berries, sea notes and ozonic notes, and then lavender, green apple, violet leaf, and base notes of seaweed, yum, patchouli and ambergris. Pretty unremarkable, pretty forgettable, but I guess still mostly pretty harmless. I wouldn't go writing a sort of scathing review of that. Well, not quite as scathing as the reviews I would write of Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage. So, at the 12-minute mark, this is after the first perfume. This is where I traditionally say to everybody, hello, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Persolaise, and you are watching episode 16 of Love at First Scent, this time on YouTube. It's the second time we're doing it live on YouTube. Very, very quickly, I'm sure regular viewers are sick to death of hearing me say this, but the idea here is that I smell perfumes in front of you, ideally for the first time, ideally perfumes that I haven't smelled before, and then I give you an instant reaction, as opposed to what I do on my blog, which is publish reviews where I've really thought about the scent, worn it once, twice, 3 times, etc., etc. So we do need to keep reminding ourselves that these are first impressions, and of course, the first impression of a perfume can be very, very inaccurate, because the perfume can change a lot in 2 or 3 hours and become an entirely different beast. So do bear that in mind. It's also for that reason that about 4 or 5 hours after the live stream, I do a little written blotter update in the comments section of either YouTube or Facebook, where I say, look, this is what the blotters are doing now. And sometimes interesting things come up. Sometimes I said, you know what, this one that I wasn't very keen on at the start has actually turned out to be quite compelling in some way. So do check out those blotter updates. If you are watching live, that means you're watching on YouTube live, so you can't sort of give me hearts and thumbs up the way that you can on Facebook, but you can give me at least 1 like or thumbs up, so please do that if you're enjoying what you're watching. You can do that after the live stream, where the video will permanently remain on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you are watching on Facebook after the an enemy's an enemy. How are you meant to say that? Hang on, let me go back to the live stream. An enemy's an anemone gives me a thumbs up, fantastic. And Vanderbloom says, this face of underwhelmment, if this is a word. Underwhelmment, I don't think is a word, but Peggy says that she can do this. And yeah, give me emoji, give me some emoji love, people. I like that one. That's one of my friend's favorite emojis as well. And what will happen is after this video is done, I will upload it to Facebook at some point. And if you're watching it on Facebook, please feel free to leave a comment and ask a question. But anyway, whatever way you're watching, wherever you are, thank you very much for watching either live or after the fact. And happy Mother's Day, particularly to any mums and mums to be in the United States, because I understand it's Mother's Day there. I wonder if that means that it's also Mother's Day in Canada. I don't know. So we say special happy Mother's Day to mums in the United States, but also let's just be generous and say happy Mother's Day to all mums everywhere. So mums, give yourselves a pat on the back. Sons and daughters, give your mums a hug. Unless, of course, you're not speaking to them for some reason, in which case, don't give them a hug. Right. I would like to move on to a Guerlain. It's always interesting moving on to a Guerlain. You know, I've got two Guerlains here. There is, just very, very quickly, there is a kind of flanker of a flanker. You know, Guerlain are really, really... oh, Reza says, thanks to the perfume pros who introduced me to you. Ah, yes, I so enjoyed doing my videos with... Oh, and Peggy goes, thumbs up. I so enjoyed doing my video with the perfume pros, or videos with the perfume pros. I wonder if they'd be interested in doing some more, or maybe they won't. Guerlain, I think, were the first brand that gave us a flanker of a flanker of a flanker. Oh, and hello back to The Hague. I love this. I love you telling me where you are. I absolutely cannot still get my head around the fact that I can be sitting in my spare bedroom at home and, you know, be interacting with people like happened on Friday when we were on Facebook Live. Canada, Singapore, we had Britain, of course, we had Germany, we had Norway. I mean, it's just extraordinary. And then, of course, we had with the United Arab Emirates as well. So I think this kind of counts as a flanker of a flanker. Ryan says, greetings from Canada. Great to see you live stream again. Your scent of the day is Givenchy Insensé for this beautifully spring Mother's Day. Okay, so it's Mother's Day in Canada as well. Thank you very much. We had La Petite Robe Noire, and then I think last year they Guerlain gave us the Black Perfecto version, which was the familiar Petite Robe Noire with a leathery note, and now there is a floral Black Perfecto. But even though I will get round to this, I'm kind of thinking I don't want to do this now because it is essentially going to be another La Petite Robe Noire. By the way, I have a lot of time for Petite Robe Noire. I don't think it's as daft as a lot of people make out. I would like to try this one, because this is at least a bit newer, a bit more original. And this is the Le Parfum, as you can see, of Meteorites. Now, I'm going to have to show my ignorance a little bit, but I do know that the Meteorites are part of the makeup range from Guerlain. This colour of packaging is producing a lot of reflection, isn't it? If any of you have ever seen the little coloured balls in a compact, I guess. I think they're just a powder. One of you is going to know this much better than I do, but they're called Meteorites, and they have a distinctive smell in the same way that a lot of makeup has a distinctive smell, because makeup is perfumed. And Guerlain did a terracotta perfume, powder pearls, says Peggy. Okay, thank you very much. Sounds much better than powder balls, powder stuff. Guerlain did a terracotta perfume, which was also inspired, I think, by their bronzing range. Really, really beautiful, if you like that kind of thing, which I did in this case. Really, really beautiful coconut suntan lotion type perfume. Excellent. And I think they've decided that, okay, maybe they will do something with another part of their makeup range. So they've done the Meteorites as an eau de toilette. So always exciting trying a new Guerlain, always exciting trying a new anything. But Guerlain, you know, we have a lot of affection for Guerlain. So let us see. Ooh, pink. Pretty in pink. Is anyone thinking Chance? Maybe. But never mind. I suppose, you know, brands can't have sort of monopoly patent on round-shaped bottles. But very, very sweet, very girly. Peggy is sniffing her powder pearls now. Send some of that smell this way so we can verify how accurate it is. Where are you based, Peggy, by the way? Do you mind if I ask? Because I've forgotten. Okay, let us see what this is like. So I'm wondering, is this going to be the sort of smell of makeup, you know, of powder? Oh, Peggy's in London. Oh, miles away. Thanks for tuning in. Right, let's have a look. Where should we pop that? Let's pop that. Let's get rid of eternity for a bit. Let's pop that here. Add a bit of pink. Oh, and another comment. Christine, boringly from Kent. Not at all boringly. Hope it doesn't smell like Chance. I'm okay with Chance, you know. I'm all right with Chance. But anyway, let's park that to one side. Okay, what's this? Ooh, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Almost sickly sweet. It's almost got a kind of... There is something a little bit more sophisticated coming through now. I mean, the colour for it is great. This is 18 years ago, really? Gosh, okay. Hands papaya scent, they go for a violet accord, especially if they want to do something that they say is going to be lipstick-like. They go violet. And this has got that kind of rosy violet feel to it, certainly. Sense of modern dryness. But yeah, it's very, very overtly floral. Some of that harsh pinkness, that sweetness, has really dissipated and calmed down. You know what it's making me think of? It's making me think a lot of Trésor from Lancôme, which again I loved. Another Sophia Groisman. Second time we're mentioning her today. Because that had a kind of almost sticky violet rose heart with loads and loads of musks, and I suspect this has got a lot of synthetic musks in the base. But where Trésor was, I think, really, really hot and really voluptuous, I always associate Trésor with lava, which I don't think Lancôme particularly did. I think they wanted it to come across as somewhat more innocent. But I always saw it as really, really passionate and heated. This is almost like Trésor without that really, really carnal femininity. It's a lot girlier. Just missed a comment from Peggy, no, so from Vanderbloom, who says, pink always makes me cautious regarding perfume colours. Yes, me too. It has I'm a girly girl written all over it, usually, in my opinion. Not just your opinion, I would agree. But, you know, hey, girly girls are allowed to be girly girls as well, and maybe there's some people who aren't girly girls who want to be girly girls, in which case, you know, more power to you. More girly power to you. And Mr. Kjelkvist says, good evening. Very good evening to you. Where are you writing from, sir? No, this is, you know, Sakura kind of feel to it. But, boys and girls, oh, from Sweden. Thank you very much. Boys and girls, we have a press release. We have a press release for this one. Oh, we love a good press release, don't we? Right. Meteorite fragrance. No, we don't have a press release. There's nothing here. Oh, they lied to me. I thought it was going to be a full press release. All I have got is that it's available from May 2018. I wonder if I could find something. Okay, seeing as this is live, you know, if this were like a whole BBC studio, then I'd kind of be going, information on Meteorites. I wonder if we could very, very, very quickly get something. Okay, so the original one, I think, Angeline, they just called Meteorite, and now this is Meteorite Le Parfum to distinguish it. And even though it's Le Parfum, it's still an eau de toilette. Go figure. So what have I got? Current in-house perfumer Thierry Vasser wanted to recreate this fragrance in the form of a perfume. The new limited edition Meteorite Le Parfum is described as a gentle, floral, fruity fragrance with a woody, musky background. Apparently, the makeup is loved for its signature, gentle, powdery scent of violet. Yeah, it's almost always violet when it comes to makeup, because what happens is that these associations get locked. And so if you have, for example, a lipstick that isn't scented with violet, then people will say it doesn't smell like a lipstick. And so the thing perpetuates itself, and all lipsticks have to smell of violet. There's something sort of orchard fruity as well, maybe appley. So definitely girly, and that's not a criticism. I don't want to sound like being a girl is some kind of heinous crime. Um, but you know what that means when I say girly in inverted commas. It's got that kind of pink appeal to it. But like with so many things from Guerlain, it's very well done. Oh, and I also did notice that the packaging, a lot of Guerlain packaging does this. They have like a little blurb at the back. So let's see what it says. Okay, not very much actually. Created by Thierry Vasseur, the Guerlain perfumer, this eau de toilette with floral, fruity and powdery notes reveals all of the delicacy and femininity of the famous Meteorite multicolored pearls. All of it, every single shred. There's not one bit of the delicacy and femininity missing. So you have been told. Right, I think I have missed some comments, so let us have a quick look. Mr. Kjelkvist says, no nudiflorum. I don't understand. What do you mean? Joe says, good to see you live again, twice a week. What a treat for us. That's very nice. Thank you very much. It's a treat for me interacting with all of you. And actually, I should have said why I'm doing it, so I'll explain that in a sec. I should have said why I'm doing too. Peggy says, the powder smells like a very soft lilac to me. Could that be the violet? Yes, I suppose, but you know what I say? Actually, I don't say this, I'm just copying what perfumers say. Perfumers say, if you smell it, it's probably in there, or some aspect of it is probably in there, so we'll go with lilac. And stop disappearing on me, comments, here we go. Everyday product. And Vanderbloom laughs, and I've forgotten what Vanderbloom is laughing at now, but there we go. And Mr. Kjelkvik says, an awesome lipsticky perfume is Apocalyptic by Madeleine. Ah, I haven't tried that one. To me, the kind of reference lipstick is Lipstick Rose by Ralph Schwieger for Frederic Malle. And then actually Guerlain did a very similar kind of thing last year, but its name escapes me. It was something Kiss. Did somebody do something called French Kiss? Was that Guerlain? And just a comment just a second ago from Raza Cologne, the pink juice in Twilly was misleading, but I like wearing it. Yes, well done for bringing up Twilly, actually, because there's a lot about Twilly that is sly. I think Twilly makes you think it's going to be a really, really girly girl scent, and in some senses it does contain aspects of girlishness, but it is also a gingery tuberose, and you wouldn't normally associate that with girlishness, perfume girlishness in 2018, which is, I think, what makes Twilly quite interesting. Okay, so 2 down and already 28 minutes in. Very quickly, how come I'm doing another one even though I just did Love at First Scent the other day? Because those of you who watched on Facebook Live will be aware of this. There's quite a bit to talk about, and also this is the time of year when, because of other commitments related to other things that I do, I start becoming really, really busy. And I thought to myself, oh dear, I don't know when I might be able to do another one of these soon. So I thought if I do 2 quickly, then at least that keeps you going for a bit, because they will obviously be on YouTube now forever, and people can watch them after the live stream, because the vast majority of people do watch it after the live stream. And I had a slot today, so until maybe about the sort of 3rd week of June, maybe 2nd week, but I'm thinking it'll be 3rd week of June. So this has got to be sufficient for you, my dear friends from all over the world. Comments came along. Kelly Kalesh is great too. Yes, yeah, although that has a leather touch as well, obviously. And Mr. Kelkfist says, last time I was on, I was asking if you would smell Nudiflorum by Nasamato. Oh yes, sorry, I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me. And yeah, I actually did try to get a sample, but I didn't manage to get anywhere. I will see if I can get one, because I want to smell it too. There's lots of Nasamato that I think is that doesn't work and is trying a little bit too hard, but there are quite a few Nasamatos that I do very much like. For instance, I know it's a cliche, but I like Black Afghano. I put Black Afghano in my book. So I'm always interested in what that brand puts out. And Angeline says something from Maison Violet too. I will have to look them up because unless my mind has gone blank, I don't know who they are. Keep the comments coming, by the way, people. It's interesting this. I seem to be talking to people more on on YouTube. I don't even know where I am. But on Facebook, of course, you get more of these sort of hearts and thumbs up and things. So they're both quite different experiences. And also, while I'm talking about that, literally about 25 minutes before coming on live on YouTube, I went on Instagram live because I just wanted to check out what the scope might be for doing live videos on Insta. I really don't like the fact that it's portrait format for videos instead of landscape. You don't have a choice with Instagram. But because there are also lots of people who are on Instagram and are not on YouTube and Facebook, I thought it might be interesting to sort of try and grab the attention of the people there. So we'll see what we do on Instagram, and that video will be on Instagram for at least 24 hours now. On Instagram, I talked about the new Eau de Citron Noir from Hermès, because I thought maybe on Insta, because it is meant to be a little bit more instant, it might make sense to just talk about one perfume at a time. So do go to Persolaise on Instagram and see my thoughts on Eau de Citron Noir. But don't go now, because that means you'll miss the rest of this episode. Okay, what should we do next? There is a classic choice coming up as well, and the classic choice was very much done with keeping Mother's Day in mind. I think what I would like to do is try this little one here. You may be able to see, this is what they call a lab sample in the business, right, folks? Apologies to those who already know. You may be able to see that it's from Lalique. So this is not the bottle in which the perfume is sold, obviously. This is the kind of sample that sometimes gets sent out for press reviews, for blog reviews. Sometimes you get full bottles, sometimes you get minis, sometimes you get these so-called lab samples. And this is Mon Premier Cristal Hirondelle or Hirondelle. Mr. Kelfick says, got to go, children going crazy. Tell them to smell some perfume. Hang on, I've lost the rest of your comment. Short is sweet or something like that. Well, thank you very much for tuning in anyway. You can watch the rest of it when it's finished. So go and sort out the children. And not much else on it here. I do have a press release, I promise, about this one. And I'm always curious about what Lalique do, because they sometimes manage to make releases that just smell extraordinarily gorgeous and lush and rich, and sometimes ones that aren't quite like that. Elva Nui, hello again. Hello to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're just about to do a Lalique. Which character in Middle-earth would wear a Lalique scent, do you think? Actually, what would Galadriel wear? There's a question. Galadriel, say that for another day. What would Galadriel wear? Oh, gosh, I've sprayed this and already I'm getting massive burst of white floral. Jeez. Oh, jasmine. Huge jasmine. Very convincing jasmine opening, actually. Galadriel would wear Shalimar. Do you reckon? Oh, I don't think she'd be so sort of sweet. Do you think so? Ooh, we're going to have a debate now. I'm thinking of a perfume that would somehow be more crystalline. Shalimar is just too damn curvaceous. It's damn curvaceous. But anyway, stop making me think of Galadriel perfumes. Although white floral, have you tried the new Lalique Ombre Noir? I don't think so. And surely something with bitter orange for Galadriel. Maybe. I'm still thinking, what would be the smell of a perfect crystal? Because I just think of, or maybe I'm kind of getting confused as well with the Kate Blanchett version of Galadriel. Even though I did think, apart from the fact when she goes a bit crazy in the first movie, which I thought wasn't very well done. Why are we even talking about films? But anyway, now that I've started, I will finish. I did think that she was a really, really great Galadriel, apart from that scene where she kind of went a bit bonkers, but we can put that down to the director. Back to Lalique and this jasmine, which is really holding my attention. Okay, so far I'm thinking it's probably going to be a jasmine soliflor, but that's fine. I love well done soliflors anyway. You're carrying on the Galadriel conversation. Go, let's see. So Peggy says, I think she'd wear Lalique's Illusion Captive. Something about the dragonfly. Maybe. Yeah, I like that idea. That, but yes, because are you thinking of the dragonfly leaf being so fine, so powerful, and yet so transparent and gauze-like? That kind of thing. Delicacy, but just diamond-like strength. And Dracar Noir for Gimli. Okay, let's just go with the Lord of the Rings thing, because you've got me now. Dracar Noir for Gimli. This could be. I need to do a whole blog post. You know, what would Gandalf wear? Ooh, the smell of a wizard. And Saruman, the smell of treasury. Éloge du traître from Un Livre d'Orange. If anybody's really desperate to find out what this Lalique is like, I'm sorry, because all of us Lord of the Rings geeks are coming out of the geek closet now. Christine says, all Monjane woman. Maybe. Although, again, to me, that's just a little bit too kind of buxom. And Peggy says, yes, and freaky at the same time. Yes, yeah, the dragonfly thing. Yes. Because there's got to be an edge to Galadriel, hasn't there? You don't know where you stand with Galadriel. Old Spice for Gandalf. No, he's like, make a Sent the Cast video someday. Ah, there's an idea. I like that idea. Maybe I should. And Gadfly. No. So your autocorrect has changed Gandalf to Gadfly. I love that. Okay. So Gadfly the Grey would wear Musk Kublai Khan from Serge Lutens. You reckon he'd stink like that? Now, don't worry, everyday products. We got that it was Gandalf. That's fine. I love that. Don't you just love how much colour autocorrect has added to our lives? Musk Kublai Khan for Gandalf. Maybe. And Gollum. Right. Keep the comments about Lord of the Rings coming. I will read them in a sec. Let me just please put this Lalique out of its misery. Although actually we're giving it a good chance to develop here, and it is still a very, very well judged jasmine, not overly tobacco-like, nice touch of that kind of, mothbally, indolic aspect, quite green, quite fresh. What I was going to say a few minutes ago before we went to Middle Earth was that it reminds me a lot of Beyond Paradise from Estee Lauder, which I love. A lot of you will know that I featured it as my classic scent here a few episodes ago. This has got that dewiness, maybe not quite so much on the sort of melon aqueous side. This is maybe a little bit closer to the real plant rather than that kind of abstract notion of the plant that we get in Beyond Paradise. But interesting. Right, and I did say I have a press release, so we can actually, for once today, get to read something proper. Where is it? Will I find it? Yes, this comes in two parts, and I didn't go through them because, I don't cheat. I don't read these in advance. And so I need to make sure that I read the correct bit. Okay, lots of pictures of jasmine. There is a lot here, and I don't intend to read all of it by any means. So it says here that in 2018, Lalique celebrates the 130th anniversary of René Lalique registering the hallmark with a new collection that takes us to the heart of its founder's peerless heritage, the swallow. It presents a precious limited edition of 130 numbered pieces engraved on the base with the logo Lalique, 130 years, etc., etc. Let's get to the... Okay, here we go. Le Jasmin. Jasmine, can't read it because it's gold on white. A master perfumer at Firmenich, Nathalie Lorson has authored many of the most iconic scents of the House of Lalique, Encre Noire, Perle de Lalique, or Amethyst. I think that should be and Amethyst. But yes, of course, she did Encre Noire, classic masculine. For this limited edition celebrating the swallow, Nathalie Lorson has chosen to showcase a delicate flower of the south, harvested in countries where the bird migrates for winter, from Provence to Egypt and India, an essence as precious as gold, jasmine. Okay, so it's just going right for it, that it's just meant to be jasmine. We have supposedly got top notes of things like gardenia, tuberose, jasmine in the heart, vanilla, musks in the base, but they're not pretending that it's much more than jasmine, really. Probably don't need to read that bit. So I guess it is what it is. It's just jasmine, and then just a kind of jasmine leaflet there. The jasmine plants with the subtlest of scents bloom in grass. The historic home of fine perfumery, their unmistakably distinctive olfactory quality has been preserved since the 17th century thanks to expertise that has been passed down through the generations, etc., etc. The 130th anniversary of Lalique. Fine. Not much to take the mick out of there, so a bit disappointing. Right, did I miss any Lord of the Rings comments? Let's see. No, you do this to me, you distract me while I'm trying to smell it, and then when I actually say keep some comments coming and I look at them after, you don't do any. Right, time for a classic. And I'm completely taking my lead here from the fact that it is Mother's Day in North America, because I went away thinking, okay, mums, you know, what were the kind of idealized... how great to see you live, says Francois. How great to be seen. If only we could somehow do this in a kind of multi-link way so that I could see everybody, all of you live. But hope you're enjoying your wine and Stilton. I was led by the fact that it is Mother's Day, and this is a little bit naughty of me. Well, it's not naughty, it's just maybe not very sensible, because I'm going to do a classic scent from a brand that I actually chose as a classic scent brand a few episodes ago, but I thought, you know what? I just love this perfume so much, and there is something about it that you could say encompasses the sort of unattainable, really, perfection of motherhood. But only in its original version, because this is a perfume that has sadly been reformulated. What I'm going to show you is a fairly modern bottle, even though I have an older one as well, but we'll show it off in its modern bottle. And ladies and gents, for my classic pick, I would like to give you, if I show you the bottle, will it show up? I would like to do today, in honor of Mother's Day, I would like to do Diorissimo from Dior. This particular bottle is the modern extrait version, the modern parfum, which I think we have to say was authored by François Damachy, the current in-house perfumer. Why is this not shutting? The current in-house perfumer at Dior. The original, of course, and we can talk about the original in a bit, was made by the one and only Edmond Rudnitska, widely considered to be the greatest perfumer of all time. You know, he made Eau Sauvage for Dior as well. There we are. Let's do this right. Can you see that? So, modern Diorissimo extrait. But I do also have, in my personal collection, this old bottle of the Eau de Cologne, and unless memory fails, this was given to me by my mum, so I suppose it's fitting that I'm featuring it on North American Mother's Day. It's going to be Mother's Day in Poland on the 26th of this month, because in Poland Mother's Day is always the same day every year, and the reason I know that is because my mum is Polish, so it's just kind of a random connection. This is the Eau de Cologne of Diorissimo, and it is in pretty good condition, except the top notes have gone. What I do wish I still had was something that I picked up at an antiques fair a few years ago in the UK, which is not really a country that you think of for antiques fair possessing, you know, a stash of interesting perfume purchases. But this was an antiques fair, and I picked up unsealed, sealed, unopened, a vintage Esprit de Parfum of Diorissimo in a silver houndstooth atomizer. And it was just perfection. It was so beautiful. And I gave it to Madame Persolaise, and the next thing I knew, she'd finished it all. And I said, couldn't you have just left a few drops for me? And she said, oh, I didn't realize you want to keep it. And I just thought, divorced lawyer now. But never mind, we're over that. We have learned to accept each other's fallibilities, and we've moved on. Diorissimo, in its original form, is probably my favorite perfume of all time. I think it is just the most extraordinary lily of the valley, created in the 50s, mid-50s, by Edmond Rudnitska for Dior. There is this story, and it may well be true, that Edmond Rudnitska used to get down on his hands and knees to smell the real lilies of the valley growing in his garden, because he wanted to be able to commit their smell to his memory perfectly, so that he could recreate them in the lab. And I have seen the patch of garden where the lilies of the valley grow that he supposedly smelt, because his house and its garden are part of the company called Art et Parfum, or Art and Perfume, based in the south of France, not far from Grasse, that makes still continues to make Diorissimo and Eau Sauvage, and also lots and lots of perfumes that you will have heard of and that you love, but you may not necessarily have realized have been physically made there, because a lot of perfumers use the materials and the facilities at Art Parfum to do their compounding and their bottling. So, for instance, I think I'm right in saying that a lot of Nila Vermeer's scents, if not all of them, physically come to life, the actual substance, in the south of France at Art Parfum. I'm pretty sure that they do. Anyway, let's try this vintage cologne. Okay, maybe we won't, because it's actually not spraying anymore. So I think I may have to have a little cry. How about, I don't believe this, I should have tested this beforehand, don't we? So this is the day that Diorissimo died. How about we dip it into the Modern Extrait? Now, I don't mind showing you the Modern Extrait, because I think, as far as modern lilies of the valley go, this is not half bad. Very quickly, for those of you who are not aware, I need to be so careful here, because if I spill this. For those of you who are not aware, the reason it's no longer possible to do a real convincing lily of the valley is not just, because of some weird reason. It's not just because like perfumers have lost the ability. It is because a lot of the materials that are needed, one or two in particular, perfumers can't use anymore in the quantities that they need to, if at all. And so that's why you can't have an original style lily of the valley. And that's why perfumers look for different ways to create lily of the valley. So when Jean-Claude Ellena made Muguet Porcelaine for Hermès a few years ago for the Hermès range, that has a kind of super aqueous, almost lychee fruit-like feel to it, because perfumers are constantly trying to find ways to recreate that effect. I interviewed Frédéric Malle a few years ago, and he said that it's a puzzle that he hasn't been able to crack, because he would love to be able to release a good Lily of the Valley perfume, but he doesn't want to do that until he personally is convinced that what he's making works as a Lily of the Valley perfume. And when I'd last interviewed him, he said he hadn't cracked it, even though, as some of you may know, personally, I think he has a really wonderful, almost Lily of the Valley perfume in En Passant, made by Olivia Jacobetti. Anyway, this is the extrait, the current extrait from Dior of Diorissimo. And I guess what is a little bit unfortunate about the modern version is that it has a very, very, very harsh opening of, kind of nail varnish remover type acetate materials. Really, really harsh chemical opening, which is a shame. It would work better on skin, by the way, because it would come across as a lot warmer. But when that fades, and it does, you do get a pretty damn good modern rendition. It's coming through already of Lily of the Valley and those beautiful bell-like flowers. You've all gone extremely quiet, by the way. Did I offend you with my Lord of the Rings comment? Surely there are those of you, some of you out there who have smelt Diorissimo, so let me know what you think, or whether you've got favourite Lily of the Valley perfumes. What was superb about the original by Edmond Rudnitska, and what came across beautifully in this Esprit de Parfum that almost caused Madame Persolaise and I to go, seeking divorce proceedings, was that Edmond Rudnitska actually put into it quite a bold civet note. Sometimes you detected it and sometimes you didn't, but when you did detect it in original Diorissimo, you realized that it was really quite funky, really quite fecal. It took you by surprise. And that is what gave the Lily of the Valley real heft and gave it a real boost and stopped it from being something you could dismiss very easily. And that is just not there in modern Diorissimo in the same way. There's something leathery here, certainly woody materials, things that are heading in the direction maybe of orange blossom, possibly ylang ylang, those sorts of white florals, but not that animalic growl. So, to all of the mums out there, the classic choice for today was for you Diorissimo, and the one we ended up smelling was Diorissimo Extrait Modern X-Ray from Dior. So I wonder what we should do very, very quickly. I think maybe we should do one of these Chopards. Those of you who tuned in on Friday. Oh, here we go. Elva Nui has come back from Middle Earth to say Lily of the Valley is a real challenge for me. Probably has to do with the ghastly soaps of my childhood. Okay, maybe. I mean, do you sort of consider it to be a bit old-fashioned smelling? Is that what it is? And Peggy says Penhaligon's Lily of the Valley EDT is quite good. Yes, you're right. Actually, it is. Completely agree with you. My bottle is over it's over 1,000 years old. I was going to say. Maybe that's what Galadriel wears. Peggy's 1,000-year-old Lily of the Valley bottle. No, Peggy's bottle is over 10 years old, not 1,000. And I haven't smelt the latest iteration of Penhaligon's Lily of the Valley, but you're absolutely right. And actually, they used to do nice products in it as well, didn't they? I think their soap was very good. Did they do a candle? Maybe they didn't do a candle. I don't know. Right. I was going to say we did one of these Chopards on Friday, so how about we finish with another Chopard? Because we were a little bit underwhelmed by the Miel d'Arabie from Chopard that we tried. So what are we thinking? We're thinking rose or orange or jasmine. Well, we've had a jasmine, so we shouldn't do jasmine again. Rose or orange? I'm going to say orange, because orange, you know, you wouldn't normally have the word orange in a perfume name. This is Orange Mauresque, so Moroccan orange, and I just saw out of the corner of my eye a few more comments flashed. Vanderbloom says, never smelt Diorissimo. See if you know anybody who has an old bottle. I adore Kirkgion's Aqua Universalis, but no funkiness there. No, you're right. An orange, please, Odebert. Yes, I think you're right. I think we'll do orange. Like, let's see. I discovered on Friday that this isn't a spray, but never mind. We managed to cope. So Orange Mauresque is what we will finish with. For the last Love at First Scent for a little while. Like I said, you know, it's gonna be a good few weeks before I can do this again. Come on, annoying non-spray sample. Okay, let's see. And I do have a press release from this one. And another quick comment. Everyday Product says, I love Eau d'Hermès from Rudnitska. Yes, so do I. That was the first Hermès perfume. He made it for them. That's funky. How did you go about writing reviews before making a name for yourself? Simple answer. I just kept writing reviews. What do you mean? I like the fact that you think I've got an. Have I made a name for myself? That's not really for me to say. But thank you very much for saying that. That's very kind. I just wrote reviews on my blog. I wrote reviews on Base Notes, and I was always 100% honest with my reviews. I think that's one thing that people still continue to appreciate, if I may say so. Okay, Orange Mauresque, Chopard. Okay, very, very gentle opening. More compelling than the Miel d'Arabie from Friday, I must say. Very convincingly orangey. It's got that kind of sharp tartness. It's probably more mandarin than orange, but there is that kind of metallic indolic feel coming through that of orange blossom and orange water. You know how a lot of North African sweets have got orange blossom water in them, which I just love. I love North African sweets. I don't know what any of them are called, but I love them. And you can sort of get... Christine says, I appreciate the honesty a lot. Well, thank you very much. I have no intention of toning down on the honesty. Don't get me started on that subject. Actually, maybe one day we should just do a special edition of Love at First Scent on honest reviews, because as far as I know... and of course, when we say honest, what we're talking about here is negative, because I'm not trying to say that there are people out there who lie, because they're not. But most writers out there will only write about positive things. And I'm not sure that... Well, I personally wouldn't want that from a critic. I would want a critic to sort of give me the good and the bad. So I need to be clear on that. I'm not saying there are people out there who lie that they like something. They don't lie. They will only talk to you about the things that they like, a lot of them. There are people out there who will also give you the full range, which is what I tend to do. But anyway, save that for another time. But thank you very much for saying you appreciate that. That is very important to me. So yes, it's got that orange blossom metallic quality. This is much better so far than the honey. And it's got, we've already said, North Africa, which means that it is kind of convincingly Moroccan. Something maybe a bit woody happening in there, something quite sticky, sweet. Maybe Gunmetal says, I'm late. Hello, everyone. Hi. Better late than never. We're almost done, but never mind. Ask, you can watch the rest of it later. It'll be on YouTube and on Facebook. It's quite foodie. I mean, we've said food, but it's kind of gourmand without being vanilla chocolatey, which is always an interesting thing with gourmand. Maybe the sweetness is coming through from, balsams, things like benzoin, maybe. I'm sure there is vanilla in there somewhere as well, actually. Ooh, I would quite like to lick this. It's got that kind of appeal. Right, let us find Le Press Release. So I can give this a little bit more time because I rushed through this yesterday. So Friday, what I didn't tell you was that Chopard are proud to announce the launch of 4 new fragrances inspired by the Gardens of Paradise. In line with Chopard's commitment to the journey to sustainable luxury, Chopard Parfum is launching a new initiative in a visionary move towards natural and responsible perfumery. Okay, interesting. Chopard was the first watchmaker and jeweler in the world to enable small-scale mining communities to achieve Fair Mind certification, as well as providing training, social welfare, and environmental support. With these new fragrances, Chopard reaffirms its commitment by introducing a luxury perfumery collection showcasing 25 premium natural ingredients sourced predominantly from the Firmenich Naturals Together sustainability program. These exceptional fragrances, rich in the most flawless premium natural ingredients, are the next step in Chopard's journey to sustainable luxury. A project that started in 2013 at the Cannes Film Festival. Funnily enough, Cannes is happening at the moment, of course, with the launch of the luxury jewellery, green carpet collection, etc., etc. Okay? Then it goes on to say, from the Mediterranean to the east, the legendary Gardens of Paradise are the expression of the golden age of civilization. I think we had this on Friday. Mythical and mystical, peaceful and secret, traversed by rivers of water, milk and honey, etc., etc. And these debuted at the Gardens of the Tropics debuted at the 2017 Cannes Film Festival. I'm not quite sure what that means there. I think the construction of that sentence is a little bit awkward. But anyway, Orange Mauresque, a Moorish garden full of sunlit citrus freshness, the radiance of a golden age, crisp, radiant and sensuous. Orange Mauresque is a sophisticated blend of zests, solar flowers, didn't know flowers grow on the sun, and millinery amber notes. Millinery. A marvellous breath of citrus fruit, precious neroli and orange blossom absolute, nestled on the balsamic notes of siam benzoin and copaiba balm. Okay, so I'm being a bit snitty, but actually I agree with everything that's said. In a review, I would probably use an expression like solar fruit myself. So, copywriter, all is forgiven. And the perfumer Alberto Maria says, I imagine this fragrance to be like the intense perfume as I walk through an alley of thousands of orange flowers in a Moorish garden under the late morning sun. Warm, radiant, sensuous. There is a subtle, joyful citrus freshness enriched with this marvellous breath of neroli and orange blossoms resting on warm solar notes. There's those solar notes again. I wrapped this light and freshness in the intensity and captivating sensuality of millinery amber notes. And I have to say, I don't think I could have put it better myself. This really is what I'm smelling now on the blotter. Except, I think what they're not quite saying is how sweet it is. I guess that's the one thing they're leaving out. A sort of selection of signature ingredients that came from the responsible sourcing here that they've quoted are Calabrian bergamot, mandarin, neroli petals, copaiba essential oils, etc., etc. So it does head in the territory of Frederic Malle's Cologne Indélébile, because it's got that metallic edge to it. But interesting, actually. I would want to take this for a further test drive. Right. We're nearly at the end, folks. We had a comment from Francois. Great to watch an honest reviewer. Would it be possible to request a review? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and request one or leave a comment. I may not be able to do it, but absolutely, I'd be very interested to know what you think, what you'd like me to review. And Gunmetal says, I feel skeptic when I hear the word solar. It's usually a code word for something that will make my nose sneeze. Really? Why? No, I like this. Do you realize what I forgot? I forgot to do. I always remember this on Facebook, but I never remember it on YouTube. So apologies again to my niece and niece's boyfriend, because I should have gone like that. I didn't do that today, did I? I don't think. See, it says episode 16. Never mind. I've done it now. That's wrong as well. Should be at the beginning. Okay. Let's very quickly go through the blotters. So start saying your goodbyes, people, because I will be going soon. Thank you very much to everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, you can still leave a comment and give me a thumbs up, or like, etc. After the live stream is done. If you're watching on Facebook as well, you can leave a comment or ask a question. I will do a blotter update on in the comments section in a few hours, but let's just very quickly go through these again. So we started with Eternity for Men Air. Ooh, ugh, okay, maybe it does turn a little bit. Ugh. Oh, that's like right up your nose, kind of. Come here, I'm a man, and I need to smell like a man, so don't mistake me for anything other than a man. Whew. Oh gosh, that's gone. Yeah, okay, maybe I was being too kind at the beginning. Or maybe, you know, like the air kind of descends on you and then goes. So yeah, not sure about that one. Then we had the Meteorites from Guerlain. Oh, much more violet-y now, much more lipstick-like, and actually really cute. Because it's not too not too sweet. The violet has got a kind of tannin-like facet to it. Hang on, I need to poke my screen for a sec because it's giving me a message. So, Meteorites we like, I think. Then we did the the one that sent us to Middle Earth, the Lalique Jasmine. Very pleasant, very sweet, as in you know, not sugar sweet, but as in like adorable sweet. But not particularly faceted. But then it's not trying to be. It is trying to be a soliflor. Diorissimo we won't talk about, but still pretty good. And then where's the Chopard? Was that the Chopard? I have only just done that one, but still smelling really good. Right, I saw a few comments coming through. Let me just quickly answer those. Oh, quite a few. Hang on, I missed all. How do you... Everyday Product says goodbye. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peggy's crying. Don't cry. I will be back soon. It's okay. Thank you and good luck with the work schedule, says Christine. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Francois says, thanks. I'm looking for a posh summer fragrance. Why? Where are you going to have a posh summer? It would be great to know your thoughts on the Tom Ford private blend line, the blue bottles. I do like Mandarino di Amalfi. Well, in a word, so do I. I've covered quite a few of those on the blog. So if you go to persolaise.com, on the top of the sort of blog, what am I trying to say? On top of the screen, you've got a link for perfume reviews. I've reviewed loads of Tom Fords, loads of private blends. You should find Mandarino di Amalfi there. But in a word, I would say yes, go with that one. And thanks for the great live video. No, thank you for tuning in, because I wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for people tuning in. Eau de Berlin likes the eternity face. I couldn't do it again. Was it something like... I don't know. Angeline says goodbye as well. Elvanui says, missed the meteorites. Doesn't matter, you can just go back. I think they were probably at like the 16 or 17 minute mark. And see ya, and thank you from Peggy. Thanks so much. Such a lovely surprise double episode, says Vanderbloom. Thank you very, very much indeed. I will try to give you ample warning of when the next one comes out. Don't forget that there is like a little baby one on Instagram as well, which will be there for at least 24 hours. I'll see if I can make it last any longer. Raza says, thanks for your reviews. Thank you very much for watching and for reading. So until I return, which I think is probably not going to be until maybe like mid-June, third week of June, be good, and I shall see you soon. Keep smelling wonderful, darlings. Goodbye.